Right. We are now live streaming on YouTube, so that is first here at Bull's Insight. So we might have a little hiccups here and there, maybe get a little feedback loop. If that happens, just let me know and I can try and fix it. But we have about 4 minutes left until we'll get started. We just have the VC open to get everybody in and situated. Again, thank you everyone for your patience and thank you for joining us today. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We have about 3 minutes before we get started. We have the VC open to get everybody in and situated before we begin. Thank you for your patience and thank you for joining us today. Again, another big announcement for Bull's Insight. We are live streaming on YouTube currently. So now we'll be live here on Telegram and YouTube for all future AMAs. Thank you everyone for joining us here at Bull's Insight for the AMA with Flat Eric. We have about 2 minutes before we get started. We are just allowing time to get everybody in and situated before we start. Thank you for your patience and thank you for being here today. Thank you everyone for joining. We have just under a minute before we'll begin, just allowing time for everybody to get in and situated before we start. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your patience. Okay, well, we have a decent amount of people in here already right at the start, so we'll go ahead and get started. I am your host, Clinton, and you are here for an AMA with Flat Eric. They are a meme token that feels like the NUs have had their day, and it's time to run them over to give way to the greatest meme of 2023, Flat Eric. Uh, so it looks like we have a couple of speakers from the team. Uh, oh, well, maybe, no, sorry. I'm reading that wrong. Uh, who is the speaker for Flat Eric? If you're in here, please go ahead and step up and introduce yourself.
Hi, Clinton. That would be me. Thank you for having us. I'm Sid. I am the owner of Flat Eric. And yeah, I will be speaking today. Understood Crypto Pericles is also going to support. And we'll be happy.
Always here.
There you go. Now, we'll be happy to explain everything about our project and our plans and what we have achieved so far.
That's fantastic. Glad to have you here with us today. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to hear more about this project because, yeah, I'm not a big meme person, but I do like the meme culture, so I do like to dabble in it now and then. So I'm very interested to hear what you guys got going on in your side of things. So with that, if you want to go ahead and tell us more about your project, and then we'll open up the floor to Q&A to the community.
Definitely. So Flat Eric, I'm not sure if everybody knows the character. I definitely do, and a lot of people in our community do. It's basically based on the character that came up late 90s in 98. And it was created by Mr. Oizo, who is a filmmaker and a DJ that actually had a deal with Levi Jeans. And Flat Eric kind of became a very popular, I would say, meme iconic figure already, especially in Europe. I understand a lot of Americans know him as well. And yeah, so we love the icon. Um, we have been looking into, Flat Eric, what he actually really is, what it was meant for, and all that. And as a meme, it has not been done before. Besides that, we have done a lot more. Like at this very moment, we actually are in touch with the original creator of Flat Eric, Mr. Oizo himself. He's also following us on Twitter. And I'm currently in talks with him to do a lot more and get him way more involved. He retweeted some tweets, or one tweet so far, but he's been liking a bunch. And yeah, he's the one that also owns the copyrights. So we are actually in very good position with the creator himself, and which I think for especially a meme token nowadays, I have not really seen that before. If you know what I mean, I don't think there's any meme out there where the actual creator is backing it up.
No, that was one thing I wanted to say is that that's very respectful because when Pepe launched, that was one of the big reasons I was against it because the creator was, pretty much just pushed aside. They didn't want to deal with him, and he even reached out and was trying to be involved with them, and they just kind of pushed him to the curb, and I felt that was unfair.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. Like the first thing when I saw he was interacting with us is reached out to him, and not only because I think it will definitely benefit the token itself, but also since he is the creator, I don't think there's anybody better to have on board except for Elon Musk than the actual creator himself, which has the fan base available. And you know what I mean? Like there's a lot we can do. At this moment, he has been like he's already active with NFTs. So we have been doing giveaways of his NFTs. So we want to support him there as well. Like we are definitely not making anything on that. We have been minting them. After that, he offered us to give us NFTs for the next giveaways. So, we're actually in very good speaking terms. And yeah, at the moment we are talking about what else we can do to get him more involved and to actually have him part, because that's the best thing that could happen for our project.
Yeah, I would agree. That is very fantastic to hear. When the creator backs the token, it just gives a little more face to the project.
Yeah, definitely. And besides that, we of course have been pushing really hard already, before we were in talks with him. We have a very base team that is willing to work extremely hard. We put all the hours of the day into the project. We are constantly connecting with new people. We're aiming big. Um, we're diving into CT, where we are in talks with some of the biggest influencers out there to help us. Currently, we are sitting at a market cap of, what is it now, 295K. So we have been very stable, holding the floor around 300K for the last 2 days. And we basically have been reaching all-time highs every single day. So having that said, belief in the community is there. We have a lot of people that understand what we're doing. I have been communicating with the community constantly, and I will be doing that. We have been planning VCs every day, so I can explain the planning. I can explain what happened today, what we've been working on, what we've been doing, any new news coming in. We'll share it with the community in the VCs. We'll share it in the chats. So we constantly do make ourselves also very available for the community. And yeah, so I think more. Would you like to have more technical details about the contract and our choices of having things set a certain way?
Yeah, I
Could I
love.
speak
Oh,
for like 20 seconds, if I may?
yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, because as many of the people that have joined the crypto space are quite young, and they probably do not know that Flat Eric was the most iconic pop character back in the 90s. I mean, it was a blast. TV advertisers, computer games, magazines, you name it. Mr. Oiser with that music theme was in the top charts, top five charts for months. Just a little information for the people because many people are too young and maybe they weren't even born back in the 90s. And having support from the creator of the character and the music, I don't think there is another meme coin out there that has these features like right now. That's all I got to say.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, you brought up a lot of good points. Yeah, a lot. A lot of people are younger, so they might not know this character that well. But it was big. I want to say it was really big, like the very like 2000. It hit its peak of popularity. But I'm bad with timelines, so don't take my word on that. But yeah, Sid, if you want to go into more on the technicalities of the contract, the taxes, tokenomics, that kind of thing, this is really your guys' floor to get any information you guys want out to the public, and then after that, the community will get what they want out of you.
Yeah, sure. No, definitely. So we have our taxes set to 3% for buying and 3% for selling. 1% goes to LP, 2% goes to the marketing wallet. We didn't have the contract renounced yet, and that's basically because we are just trying to make sure that we get enough volume and we are able to go for these listings in the future, since we don't own team wallets. So we want to make sure that we keep going, that we keep the volume going, and just make that marketing wallet bigger and bigger. And eventually set, when we do the first listings, we will set the taxes to zero, and then we will renounce the contract.
Ah, perfect. And then you guys are on the Binance network?
Oh, excuse me. No, we are an Ethereum. Um, yeah, we are
Oh,
an Ethereum based token. So ERC 20, that is. Um, I also like to go into a few other things. We have a website, flateric.io. If you go on our website, you are already able to buy Flat Eric with your credit card, with Apple Pay, several other methods. You're also able to swap any other ERC 20 token directly for Flat Eric, or for Flat, I must say. And this will save you if you're literally not happy with the token, with another token you're holding. You can swap it directly, and it will save you one-time gas fee cost, so you don't have to sell the other one first and then go buy back in. And that's the reason why we constantly push that as well. So people that are bullish and they're holding other tokens, they can just swap it directly on our website.
that's fantastic. And you don't need to buy a native token. You could just straight out buy it with fiat.
You can buy it with fiat, you can buy it with ETH, you can buy it with another ERC 20 token. Yeah, you can basically do all these things.
That is amazing. You don't really see that too much.
Well, it's a feature that we love about Ember. They are the ones behind it, and they help us out with that, and they offer this. So yeah, we are happy with it as well, because it definitely makes a difference with other projects, and we just want to make things easier for potential buyers, and you know don't have too many things that people constantly questioning. um, just keep things easy is the best way to go, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and like you said, it becomes a nightmare when you're trying to, if all your money's on the BNB network, trying to bridge across, and then, or if you just have a whole bunch of bad tokens. I know you guys can't buy it with BNB, but just in general, the headaches of having to move across all the networks and transfer coins. It's just nice that it's taking the right steps in the right direction to eliminate a lot of those headaches.
Definitely, and it also makes it a lot easier to bring in the newbies, that we can get from mainstream marketing that we're also planning in the near future.
Can you go a little more into that? I'm always interested on how projects plan to bring in new people.
Right. So first, we are basically aiming into the crypto space, basically because we want to set a base on the best guys out there. Like if you look at our chart, you can see that people are holding strong, right? Like we literally get every dip being eaten. Maybe not right in the first minute, but eventually it's being eaten. Like it doesn't take a day. It's being eaten. And having a lot of these people on board that know the team, that know that we don't mess around, that know that we definitely keep pushing and working for their bags. It's easier for them to stay around with us. It's easier for them to close their eyes at night knowing that it's not going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? So it makes it a very good gives it a very good head start. Our marketing is aimed at that at the moment, so we are bringing and onboarding more Twitter guys and girls. Obviously, we have been pushing through private groups on Telegram. Um, a lot of calls have been working for us, so we also have had a bunch of support calls that we didn't pay for. It's basically the culture. Gollum's Gems is on our side. We basically launched with him. So he has been supporting us constantly. He is available in our AMAs constantly. Like he listens to what we have to say. And we have their soldiers. Like Gollum has this NFT line, and they have their soldiers in the grotto, which is a group where they're all talking to everything about everything related to the crypto space. Well, the whole grotto is involved basically with Flat Eric, and yeah, so we have a really good base, and we have a really good um, point from where we can move faster into higher MCs, and that's where we want to keep aiming at first, because we do want to make sure we have, like, we're not even a week old yet, so we do have to prove ourselves on this project, and we do have to show that we're only growing. After that, we will dive into mainstream marketing. For this, we are looking into a lot of things that are possible on our side. So having the bigger billboards out, and I'm not talking about a SpaceX billboard or whatnot, but like the bigger ones that actually draw attention from people, have a very creative idea behind it, that there is interaction, and not just a simple image. Like we really want to make sure that everything we do is being impactful. We want to go into well, we have a good offer laying on our table for the underground in London, to do advertisement there, to do bus advertisements with stickers and all that, on the outside of buses, taxis all over London, and then also in New York we have been looking into a lot. So these are things that we want to push later on, once we have established a good ground floor in the higher market caps, and not just throw away high funds for no reason and pump and dump this, because this is literally not what we're doing here. Like, we don't want to just waste funds. We are looking into what is getting the best value for the dollar that we spend.
Yeah, and that makes sense. You you, you want to tie a viewership or uh, people that enter your Telegram to a dollar amount. So if you spend X amount, you're getting this many people in, and if you're just throwing it anywhere, you might not even get anybody to join. So you're just wasting it all.
Yeah, and there's a lot of wasting in this space, and especially when you go with the callers. Like, you get a call, you pay 10 BNB, and then you get, maybe in volume, you get 2 BNB out of it. In my opinion, that's not marketing. That's not what you do to brand for your branding. That is something just to have some quick buyers in and spread the name quickly among some degens that will forget you 1 or 2 days after. So that's definitely not what we're doing and what we're aiming for. So that's why you probably haven't really seen us uh, in the Telegram space being active. But if you look on Twitter, you can see us in a lot of spaces. We have some really good uh, Twitter influencers backing us at the moment already, working on more constantly. One of them being Bullrun Gravano, who has a very good, decent name out there, and he has been on our side. He's pushing us. He is partnered with us in that sense, so he will be with us along the way. Um, Following with more, I'm actually talking to another guy right now who actually has a huge name, and getting him on board. Hopefully, he can start tonight. But that's all these things. Like, we just keep going, and we don't want to waste a dime on anything that we feel might not work.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And you're right on the callers. I've seen callers actually kill projects because they'll just come in, pump it up and then just dump and pull all the liquidity, and then you just have a community of bag holders, and it kind of hurts the space more than it helps, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That's the reason why we don't go for that at all. And also within our network, we have a lot more solid guys that are actually able to help any project, other than just go for a quick pump and dump and kill it.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. Now, I know you guys are a meme token, but is there any plans for utilities in the future?
I mean, whatever the future holds, we are always willing to dive into it. But we will go off of what the market is asking, right? So having utility in the end, it would have to fit our project. Um, and I think at the moment where we are standing, I see a lot of projects going out, and right off launch they promise a lot of stuff. Um, in the end, they either develop and then still die, or they have everything fully developed and it still doesn't go anywhere. So I rather just make sure that we do the branding first, that we get everything out, that we have something really solid going on, that we push into very high market caps, and then look at these things.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the same way Shiba Inu pretty much went. They just built a whole community around a token and then just started to talk about utilities later in life. So it's a good option. You build a good, strong, organic community, and then from there, whatever you guys decide, you have a better chance of succeeding. So I like that style.
That's definitely the aim, yeah. Because I do believe that when people see that you're actually doing what you promise, right, then there's a way higher chance of succeeding. And we all know with developing utilities, anything can go anywhere, right? Like, you see a lot of delays everywhere, you see a lot of mistakes being made, and when these things are not being delivered at the moments that are promised, some holders will be patient, other ones will be right away like, okay, this is bullshit, I'm out. So that's where we don't even want to go there, right? Like, we just want to make sure at one point, okay, we're going to make some decisions. Are we going to have a utility? Are we going to run something that could definitely be beneficial for our community? um so anything that we can add to it, we definitely will think about it, we definitely will brainstorm about it, but we're not going to make any promises until we know 100% for sure that, and that is ready as well. Like, we just literally, we want a good meme without any bullshit.
Ah, that's fair. Uh, oh, I had another question. Now I just kind of lost it. Is there anything else about the project you would like to let the community know before we open it up to the floor?
um the thing is, we have so many things that we are constantly working on, and we are always looking for more people, always looking to expand our community. So we do whatever it takes on that end. And I think as a meme, you have to be a meme. And our community has been insanely active. Every time I take a nap and I wake up, I missed uh, hundreds of messages, sometimes even thousands of messages. Like, they just keep going, on Twitter as well. And yeah, like I said, we are doing a lot of giveaways as well. We have been giving away NFTs that are made by Mr. Oizo, who is the creator of Flat Eric. And in the meanwhile, we are memes, and we will continue to be a meme. And yeah, any question, we always happy to answer.
Ah, perfect. So at this time, if anybody has a question, please ask in chat and tag me, and I will ask it to the team. Um, while we're waiting for questions to roll in, uh, you said you guys weren't that active on Telegram. So where is the main hub for the community at?
We are active with the community on Telegram, but not with the calls, like not with the Telegram callers.
Ah, okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No, our group is Flat Eric ETH. Not sure if you shared it. Let me
Yeah, I believe Rich
open
put
it
it
up
in the
here.
announcement. If not, we'll make sure to drop it in the chat.
Type it right now.
Oh, okay.
See if you're interested in joining.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and drop it in chat so anybody can
Typing
see
it
it.
on him.
And then we are starting to get our questions in. So our first question is, can you shine more light on governance
That's our portal.
implications on
Um,
the phase four of your roadmap?
so yeah, we have our community there, and We have a community of near about, what I say, 553 members. We have a little over 322 holders currently. So I think the ratio is pretty good there.
Yeah, that's a nice ratio. Sorry, I realized my mic got muted again.
No worries. No worries.
But the questions are rolling in, and so our first question: can you shine more light on governance implications on the phase four of your roadmap?
All right. Let me just get everything in front of me so I can go in the right order.
Yeah, no problem. And keep
The
your
phase
questions coming,
four.
guys. Yeah. So there's another question that I can answer. On what chain is the project? It is on the Ethereum blockchain. It is an ERC20 token.
Hold on, my website is not loading. Let me see.
Yeah, my internet was running slow today too. I was having issues getting a couple of different websites up. Uh, I'm just kind of reading questions, guys. Sorry. Yeah, so keep the questions coming in. We're having a little bit of internet issues. Let's get the websites up, and then we'll get back into the questions. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This has been a great AMA so far.
All right. I think, yeah, there we are. Okay, so basically, what we constantly will be doing is we want to scale up. We want to draw in the right people for the right position within the team as well. So, we are starting off as a smaller team, but at the moment that things are going to get bigger, that there's more marketing to be done, that there's more uh, communications to be done, like things can grow, right? So we kind of want to make sure that we keep expanding the team in that sense. So we want to make sure that everything happens in the future will be fully under control.
Uh, but how do you plan? Sorry, I'm trying to gain my thoughts back. Uh, what do you have any idea on like the time frame of the governance implications?
Well, time frame really depends. Like we have to make sure that things are going the right direction. We keep working. We have our goals, but we want to make sure that everything is set properly and that we reach our goals. But the time frame is like I always find it very hard to say.
Yeah, my favorite answer that I've heard is if you ever talked with a dev, it's always soon, and soon could be 10 minutes or it could be 10 years. You never know with a dev.
That's it. And don't get me wrong, I have said soon before as well, and it never worked in my favor. So we grow, we learn, and we have to be honest and open and very real about everything. And yeah, like I said, I want to make sure that our communication is right and we don't have questions. When you go into our VCs and we explain everything, you'll notice that our community does not have questions. It's literally what it is. Like we are super transparent with the entire process.
That's fantastic. Transparency is key to a lot of the projects to keep that faith in the project. So another community member has a question. In terms of the security of the smart contract, some projects are not really concerned of the smart contract because they feel like they have good developers working on it. So my question is, what do you consider a clean contract, and what means have you taken to make it to make sorry, to make it secure, even if you have experienced devs working behind the scenes?
Well, one thing there is that our developer is actually a very well-known developer, but he remains a mystery dev for now. Um, he is actually in the main developer of another token that had some very good success due to Elon Musk talking out loud. Um, and yeah, besides that, we know that this contract works. Like this is literally the contract that he has been using and that he made the way he wanted to be. In further stages, we will do audits just so people feel better about it, but we really have zero worries about it.
That's always great to hear whenever a project's, confident in their security. Uh, Another community member is asking, staking program is very important for any project. Can I stake your token? And if not, do you have any plans of starting a staking program?
Well, also for this, in my opinion, staking right off the bat is not smart at all because you're gonna spend a lot of money on developing something, and that's not gonna be a base of your project. Um, what we want to do is like as a project yourself, you need to make sure that you have holders that are willing to hold longer than a day or a week, and you will always have holders that have that feeling and they will stake. And if the majority doesn't feel the same, these people will get wrecked. And we want to make sure that we are getting past certain milestones before we're going to start offering that. So we have everybody being in a safe spot as well. You know what I mean? Like I see a lot of projects and don't get me wrong, I made that mistake myself before. Um, and these people were stuck in staking and then a chart started dumping and then you have an issue, right? Because you want to unstake it, you lose more because you get unstaking penalties. So like I said, I am confident about our project. I am confident that what we are doing, but using funds for development for these kind of things, I think at this point of building is not necessary at all yet.
Those are all very good points. I'm not a big staking person, so I never really thought about the downsides of it like that. So that's a good perspective to have. Another question
Yeah,
that
you
go
don't
ahead.
want to lock. No, sorry. Yeah, I just don't feel like locking people up in things, and of course, it's their own choice, right? But you wanna be a little more matured as a project than these early stages.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, yeah, stability is the most important thing when you're first starting out. So that should be always your first goal. Apart from strength of your team, which I think consists of great people, but revenue is very important also for the growth and progress of the project. So how do you generate profits slash money to keep your project going? And what is your revenue model? How can
Well,
this how can
we
this
are a meme,
provide a win-win situation?
right? Well, we are a meme, and this is the reason why we still have the 3% tax up for the buy and the sell. Um, we don't own team tokens, so we are not able to sell small portions. What you see with all the 0% like the tax-free tokens. So we do have to build up here first. And the reason we keep 3% because it's still a very low percentage, and we can still get the hype of a 0% token. And knowing that we will go to 0%, I think for us right now, that is how we are gonna move forward. It's our only way. Like we don't have any other revenue coming in other than from taxes at the moment.
Yeah, and that's, still a good source of income as long as you have the value. The next,
Yeah, the
oh,
being good. So we're expecting it to ramp it up a notch soon, and yeah, no worries there at all.
that's fantastic. And yeah, being at almost, oh, well, you said 300,000 your guys' floor in under a week. That is very impressive. How will you
Yeah,
guys? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, no, no. Go ahead. I was not gonna say anything new.
How will you maintain a marketing strategy that strikes a balance between immediate marketing objectives and long-term marketing strategies for the community's overall success and sustainability?
Well, we have a strategy and we are not fully exposing our strategy because we are also going step by step. And what we're doing constantly is making sure that everything we do now will benefit from the steps we're taking in the future. So, meaning that we want to have a strategy running constantly that goes hand in hand with everything we're doing. So, every marketing move will make the other one that we did prior to it stronger and vice versa. And yeah, so the strategy on its own is basically build up first within the crypto community, make sure you get a good community behind it, which we are working on very hard, which we actually have already been. I mean, I can say that we achieved it, but the more the merrier, obviously. Um, and these things are the basis of your foundation. Like you can push as much marketing if you want, right? But if you don't have a community going, it's not gonna help you a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Community is the first step to succeeding in the crypto world.
Yeah, definitely. That's especially with a meme because memes are made for the communities, right? So you don't want to run a meme token where you have no backing from a community at all.
Yeah, 100%. This is a good question. What unique features and qualities does Flat Eric possess that distinguishes it from other meme coins, and how will the team maintain its momentum over time?
Well, like we mentioned earlier, we have the actual creator of the character that we made our meme about supporting us, which, like I said, and what Empirical said, we don't know any other meme that actually has that. And I think that is one of the most important factors at the moment. And on the other hand, we took Flat Eric because what you see when you get into our group and people are new and they have not thought about Flat Eric for ages. They come into our group and they're feeling it. Like we have a rose filter setting where you just put flat beat, then it starts playing flat beat by Mr. Oizo, of which Flat Eric was the main character of the music and with his sounds and stuff. And people feel the project that way. Like they listen to the music, they see the community interacting, and you literally feel what we're doing, and that makes it beautiful. I mean, with all the dark tokens out there, I mean, you cannot really get the feeling of a yeah, unless you're gonna sit in a how do you call like in a dog
Like,
pound or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
can't really get the feeling. So
No, that's awesome. Yeah, you create a nice vibe when you have someone, especially with music. That's always an emotional attachment. So once you got the music, you got a little vibe going. It builds a bigger connection among the community instead of just saying wolf all day long.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it, but it's definitely something different. Now, but we have like what I would say the ingredients to bake the perfect cake.
Yeah, exactly. And then the same community member wanted to ask, how does the Flat Eric team prioritize the needs and feedback of its community members, and what steps are taken to ensure that the community input is incorporated into the project's development?
Well, like I said before, we have daily VCs. I'm constantly communicating. Our admins are constantly communicating. We currently have over, I think, what is it, 15 admins right now that 80% is available during the day. Um, and evening and night, of course. We have them from different time zones. They are very well instructed. They are also investors. They know answer to every question. And if we don't mention it in the VCs, anybody can ask. We will not attack anybody if we feel it's like a fuddy question. We will answer them. And if, we have boundaries, of course. You don't want anybody coming and bringing the other holders in danger of crazy stuff being thrown around in a group. But if there are legitimate questions and or doubts or whatnot, then we are always there to answer them. Like we will definitely take anything in consideration as well. In the VCs, we open after every VC, we open the VC for everybody else to ask questions or suggest stuff, and people suggest things. We look into them if we haven't thought of it ourselves yet, and we will definitely see if we can implement it somehow.
There was one thing you just said that I absolutely love, and that is you guys actually take questions that might not be 100% friendly. That's one of my biggest criticisms of the space right now. I have been blocked from a lot of telegrams because I find a project, I jump in there, and I just start asking questions. And immediately they just said I'm fudding, but it's like I'm just trying to learn, and then I just get banned, and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And then
Yeah, I mean, I understand in a sense that certain people feel like, hey, this is my investment, this is my money. Um, you're bringing it in danger by asking certain questions that they are possibly not sure about themselves either, right? So they might not like the answer of that question themselves. So they might just be like, hey, shit, this guy fudding my bag, gotta get him out of here. But we want to make sure, that we communicate and we want to make sure that people understand what we are doing. We have no secrets. I mean, everybody says that, obviously, but we have been proving that so far in our VCs. Ask whatever you want, judge me, do whatever you want. I will just tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing.
yeah, that's great. And yeah, like you said, I understand it. You know, you're protecting your bags, but it's a double-edged sword because then you're also creating an echo chamber of everybody that just agrees, and that's not healthy either because I've seen that's how a lot of communities get rugged because they create this echo chamber and think everything's good, and then all of a sudden the dev pulls the liquidity and then vanishes, and
Yeah, for sure.
it's just it's a balancing act. It really is. But I just think right now a lot of the communities are on the extreme side of that, where they just cut it out instantly.
They are. We choose not to do it because we believe that, every hater you can make a fan. We have we have a background in a lot of things in marketing, in customer service. I think if you handle everything the proper way, you can turn the biggest hater into a fan, and that's why we want to make sure that people are just able to ask what they wonder, basically.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So another question from the community is on the NFTs. Are the different NFT character classes correctly balanced, or will there be various advantages among them?
Sorry, I literally missed it. It was lagging a little bit. Could you repeat that?
Oh yeah, no problem. Uh, are all the different NFT character classes correctly balanced, are or will there be various advantages among them?
But we don't have our own NFTs. Like we're literally supporting the NFT line that Mr. Oizoi has.
Okay, yeah.
So I
So
have no say about, at all. I will not bring my input into that. It's
no,
his line, and he has been putting a lot of work into it, and we support him with that along the way.
that's fair. So then, well then, this part of the question does make a little sense. Do you guys plan on building your own marketplace since you've been helping him mint, or are you just gonna just kind of keep doing it on like OpenSea?
Well, he is the one that decides these things, Mr. Oizo. Like I said, we are not in control of any of that. Our own marketplace, yeah, who knows what the future holds in that sense. If Mr. Oizo is down for getting that side going, we'll definitely be open to certain things. But yeah, like I said, as for now, we want to make sure our community is solid. We want to make sure everybody feels good about where they invested their money, and we also want to make sure that everybody understands every step along the way. And you cannot make people understand if you just throw out an entire roadmap full of things that are based on an idea that could be anything, because it doesn't really mean much, right? So that's why we just really want to go first, build that community, make sure we are set, we're ready to go into next phases, and we might adjust our roadmap in between, because we also listen to the voice, like I said earlier, to the voice of our community, and great ideas can always pop up that we haven't thought about. So having that said, we are one with the community. We want to make sure we remain that way, because that's the only way to build a family within your community, and keep things rolling and keep things solid.
Yeah, that's you know one of the best ways of handling it. Uh, so this question's a little unique. Do you guys have a system in place where you're I'm trying to find a better way of asking it. I'll just read it. Does management have an effective system in place to model, manage, and balance risk and opportunity cost?
Where did I get these questions from? Um,
I don't know. It was a very unique one for sure.
they seem a little bit prepared. Um, Hold on, let me read that question because I was literally. Are you already got it?
It seems the community has some insurance in it.
Right.
Yeah, I could reread that for you. Does management have an effective system in place to model, manage, and balance risk opportunity cost?
Right. Yeah. So basically, what we are constantly doing is making sure that we get the most effective for the dollar. So we are definitely always calculating any risks involved. We're looking at market conditions. We're looking at how certain influencers are performing at that moment. We're looking at perfect timing for everything. Like we like to keep track of everything. So we do have our team members, diving into everything constantly to make sure that we're not wasting anything.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I'm always
If
happy to hear that the team is keeping that in mind. Is get the most effective results out of our dollar.
Oh, we see a lot of projects out there that are, kind of copying each other, and especially within the marketing part. And for one project, the results are fully different than for the other. And, and I think that having certain things done first and then look into, are we ready for certain pushes to get the right people push us out? That's the most important part. So definitely, like we can launch right now, we can have a 300K market cap right now, and you can go with the biggest guys out there. Of course it will push, right? But then you are building something that is also crashing really quickly. um so we are building it with the smaller ones first, we getting the bigger ones in between, but we keep just spreading the word everywhere here and there. And I think that will definitely be more beneficial. I think that affects. our charts also in a better way, and it will also be possible for us to keep going if we keep it that way
Yeah, that
without running out of funds.
yeah, that makes sense. You gotta find your target audience so that way you're grabbing the right people. Uh,
Yes, exactly. And there is a different group of people that is interested in lower market caps. There's a different group of people that is interested in higher market caps. So, we just got to keep going about it. We have to, a lot of people, they just invested because of our team. There's a lot of people that invested because of the meme itself. There's a lot of people that invested because of the way we're communicating and because of the chart itself. Like you have tons of different type of investors that buy in for their own reasons. Um, so we constantly look at all these things. Yeah, indeed.
yeah, that's great. Now this is I was actually been waiting for this question to pop up. I'm surprised it took so long with what's all going on in the crypto world. What are the legal and regulatory guidelines, and how will the organization monitor emerging regulatory considerations?
Well, as if now we are DeFi, we are a meme. Um, like any other meme so far, I don't think we have to worry about any of these things. We did not have a pre-sale. We are not worried about any of that. So we are just running our meme. We cut out the bullshit and all the expensive wordings. We are doing what we do best, and that's making this a success.
And that's great. And then I would add on top of that is the creator of the meme is backing you guys, so there shouldn't really be a copyright issue either.
No, 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 no. Like I am definitely, and I like to also keep the community posted about everything that we're discussing. Um, but we are respecting what he has built over the years, right? So we definitely don't want to step on his feet in any way, and that's why we have been very cooperative with him. And like you have to understand, and I understand this fully myself, is that Flat Eric has been his baby basically for the last 30 years. Right? Is it 30 years already? Not really.
Getting close.
Let's say 20, 26 years, whatever. So he has been keeping it very clean. Like Flat Eric never got into any scandalous stuff, right? It's a fun meme from back then. It has the commercials with Levi's, but he has been keeping it very clean. And we respect that and we want to stick to that as well. So we are communicating with him constantly to make sure that everything that we do in regards to things that might be on the edge, I throw it at him first. I ask him, is this something you would stand behind? If he says no, you know, I'll just delete that stuff and we move on and think of new stuff. It's like, and in the meanwhile, you're helping each other. We're helping him with his NFT line as well. So it's like, I think we actually close to building up a very solid relationship with him. And yeah, there might be, we are in talks about a lot more. Uh, that could involve a lot bigger pushes, but we have to make sure that everything is being done very respectfully towards him.
That's fantastic. I always love hearing that. Starving artist or one of the most people that get taken advantage of since the internet's inception. So it's nice to see projects actually work with the artists instead of just trying to cut them out.
Yeah, I mean it's the DeFi space. People are always wary about things that could happen, especially how regulation is not making sense at all nowadays. Um, but I think if the basis is properly done and we are not fighting with anybody and we're not being a pirate and fully ignore the guy, and just be like, oh, he retweeted, he's fully behind us now and this and that. No, we actually started a conversation with him to make sure that he is actually behind something because somebody tweeting something or retweeting something, it's not proving anything, right? So
No.
yeah, so no, that's the thing. Like, no, we just don't want any crap, and I think, and on that end, like we are very much on the right track, and
Yeah,
yeah, definitely not for any issues with anybody.
that's great. We are getting close to our time, so we're going to try and get a couple more questions in. But if we don't get to your questions, guys, jump in the Telegram, check out the vibe, ask your questions, and like he's been saying this whole AMA, they open up their mics all the time to jump in and talk with the community. So if I don't get to them, jump over there, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. This next question, I understand the buy and sell taxes are 3% and you have the central exchange listings plans on your roadmap phase two. First of all, I want to know, are the taxes going to be paid even after listing on the central exchange?
No, when we list our first on our first on our first CX, we will set the taxes to 0.
Yeah, perfect. And then I want to know, what are the strategies for controlling the price of token after listing on on the central exchange, because lots of the meme coins will dump after getting listed on the central exchanges.
Definitely, and that's why we are also constantly looking into what exchanges we will list on. There are a few that we already know up front that they might dump, and there are a few that actually are very solid and consider a good cooperation. So we will not just throw it out there. As a team, we want to do whatever it takes to protect our community, to protect our holders. So any central exchange that I see or we hear that have been dumping bags are being scratched off the list if there is no solid reason.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, I'm trying to find a short question, but I'm having trouble. Oh, what drove you to start this particular project, and what have you learned about crypto for you to come to the tokenomics that you have?
Well, basically, we wanted to start smaller. We could throw a big private sale where you start on a higher market cap and you have a shit ton of funds to start with. Um, but that's not something we wanted to do. And because we wanted to make sure that we actually building from the beginning. We see a lot of private sales, just they go up a few x's and they dump right away, and the lower we start in market cap at launch, the less the least damage is done if anything happens uh, in the meanwhile. So, you know, building up a solid foundation is key to what we're doing, and that's the main reason why we are doing what we're doing. And having the tax set is just necessary at the moment to build up enough funds to keep pushing until we're ready for these next phase and these listings when we can put the tax to 0% and renounce the contract.
Yeah, every project needs to have funds coming in to stay alive in this game. If not, you'll just kind of die out and be forgotten about in a couple months. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that is our time for today. Thank you so much, Sid, for joining us, and Crypto Particles for talking about Flat Eric. It was a great AMA, and it's an exciting meme project. And I don't say that lightly because like I said, I'm not a big meme person. I do like the meme culture, but this one is definitely different than all the other ones that I have seen out on the market currently.
I take that as a positive, so thank you very much.
It was meant to be a positive. You're welcome.
Very much for your time as well. We're glad to be here. We're happy that we were able to talk about our project. And if anybody is interested in learning more, please feel free to hop into our Telegrams or look on our Twitters. All our links are available on our website, which is flateric.io. Um, so yeah, if anything, we are happy to get you along the ride.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining us here today. You guys are really the stars of the AMAs with all your great questions. So thank you guys again for joining us. Thank you, Sid, again for joining us and telling us all about Flat Eric. All right, guys, have a great day.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, guys.